Hey there, Predator fans, this is Wesatron, and welcome to the review of what might be the greatest toy ever made. I don't know, it's very big up in the air for me, but wow, what an awesome action figure. This is NECA's Jungle Disguise Dutch action figure. This figure just started hitting stores. He should be available at your stores now, not just at e-tailers or anything like that. Like, he should be on your store shelves now. Before you watch any further, go buy this figure. Just pause it, go out, buy it, come back, and I'll explain why, but you'll probably be so enamored with it, you won't even pay attention. This figure is amazing. This figure is what all action figures for the adult collector market should aspire to be. It's that simple. Yeah. Now, before we get going, I should admit, if you haven't caught on by now, I'm a huge Predator fan. I love Predator 1. I love Dutch. Yeah, just absolutely fantastic character, awesome movie. So if I seem biased, I totally am. I'm just going to admit that now. This guy comes with so much stuff. All of this stuff. NECA could have easily packed in half of this stuff with the Water Emergence Predator and, you know, just said nothing about it. Said, like, you get half of the, you know, accessories with this figure and half with this figure. Fair deal. Just because there's so much stuff. But they didn't. They packed everything in with this one figure, and it's totally worth it. Like, if you can get this guy for $25, it's still a great deal. Like, that cool of a figure. I'm just going to gush for like 20 minutes. That's what I'm going to do. But look at all these great accessories. We've got his bow. His bow is awesome. This is that big bow that he made out of like sticks and stuff that are all tied together. They actually did do the detail of the interior piece, because in the movie he actually holds this part of the bow, not the sticks on the outside, probably so it wouldn't pinch his hand in half. Very awesome. It does have the little leather piece right here that's meant to hold all his arrows, and it can actually do it. The arrows look fantastic. They've got great fletching on them, little knock there on the back. You can see that they actually even put in detail into the wood of the shaft, and then the arrows on the tips. Very well detailed. He's got 3 of those, and then he's also got his grenade arrow, where he took the head of I think it was an M203 grenade, and tied it to the end of this arrow. Like, that would even work. It totally wouldn't, but it looks really cool. And then there's no fletching on this arrow, but they did still put a knock on it and did a lot of great work on it. Very cool. And I was just looking at a still of it a minute ago, and actually I noticed when he's about to shoot this arrow, because he's pulling it back with his right hand, he's actually got it on the wrong side of the bow, so he probably would have missed that shot a lot. But this is the shot where he was up in the tree looking down on the Predator. Spoilers if you haven't seen this movie in 25 years. And he shoots down, and there's a huge explosion, and then he runs and everything. It's awesome. But yeah, back to the bow. The arrows all fit down inside this little catch here. So you can slide each one in. I'm doing them kind of individually so I don't hurt anything. I don't want to break anything, obviously. And then I'm putting in the grenade on the opposite way, because obviously you can't stick the M203 in through. And that all holds so that when you put it on his back, just like he wore in the movie, he's got a built-in quiver. Very awesome that they included that little feature. I mean, that's so cool. I dig it. Hold out, Dutch. You're awesome. We've got the torch from the classic standing up on top of the cliff, and the fire's burning and he screams, and there's that awesome music. It just builds up. It's like dun, 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 dun. It's freaking awesome. Love this freaking movie. But they included that as well. It doesn't have a light up ability or anything like that, but it does use a clear plastic for the flames. You can see they actually did some very nice sculpting work on the flames themselves, and extraordinary paint and sculpting work on the torch handle. Like, very well done. Very cool. Yeah, outstanding. That does fit into his hand very easily. You can just pop that in. Very cool. Great accessory for any other figures you might have. If you have that Indiana Jones figure I reviewed a while back, hey, now you got a torch for him. We've got his staff. Well, his spear, I guess I should say, with his knife on the tip, all tied together with different paint. Great paintwork on the shaft. You can see, like, where there's knots, they painted, like, darker and stuff like that. Little things that they didn't have to do. This isn't like a perfect stick. You can see all the little ridges and splits and everything in it. awesome, awesome work. And then not even a completely straight silver paint job on the end. Like the silver maybe even has a little rust kind of built into it, just so it looks a little more realistic, a little more alive. I really dig it. They did a great job. And look, it doesn't say China anywhere on it. How did they get away with that? Oh my goodness. Here we have his other spear, which has another M203 grenade on the tip. If it'll focus. Come on, focus. There we go. And that's why it's got that silver bit on the end. It's an M203 grenade, and then it's housed and wrapped in another stick that's got, you know, its own flourishes and details and everything, its own paint work. Fantastic work. And it's not the exact same stick either. They didn't just, like, put a different, you know, tip on the end. Like, these are actually two different lengths and everything. They did a great job. And both of these will fit into his hands at the same time if you want. So, like, you can put his knife spear here and his M203 spear here, and they just slide in with relative ease. So very, very cool. Accessories alone make this guy worth it. But it's the actual figure himself that just really steals the show. It's just amazing. Like, gosh, what a great figure. I'm sorry if this is just going to be all positive, but I don't have a single negative for this figure. I'm very sorry. So if you stick around, everything's good. I just want you to know. If you want to take off now, that's fine, cool. Go ahead, but everything is really awesome. Likeness, like the other Dutches. I think this is actually even better than the other Dutches in terms of likeness. They captured how his hair had that matted down, muddy, wet look in the end of the movie. They got the little bit of blood right here on his chin. They've got those stoic demon eyes that he had at that point in the movie. All of the little detail in the texturing from the mud. Really, really awesome. His hair, fantastic work. You can see the leaves all over his body are painted in a different color. He's got little bits of mud and flecking and stuff all over the body. Very, very cool. They just did an outstanding job. I was surprised how much of this was actually resculpted and not just painted brown. I think the forearms and the hands, well, hands are new because they're designed to hold cylindrical weapons as opposed to like guns. So both hands are new and look really, really nice. You got that nice like vein in the musculature and everything going through them. Very, very cool. But the arms from the elbow to the wrist, I think, are the same as before. He's still got his watch on at the end of the movie as well. But yeah, great, great work on this mud. And it's not all just one color either. There's some subtle variation in there as well. Very, very cool stuff. Very, very awesome. Love it. Now, his pants are even better. Like, as great as this all looks up here, the paintwork on the pants is outstanding because they not only got the brown in there, but you can see, if you look closely, they managed to get the brown sort of as a wash over the already camouflaged pants. So you can see the pattern of the camouflage with kind of brown paint just sort of laying over it, which is really, really cool because it really shows that he's not just, you know, a brown figure that was just, you know, released as a variant. Like, they actually put in a lot of thought and work into how this was going to play out, and it looks great. You can see the camo comes through here, little bits here and there and stuff, but overall this does have a nice like brown tint to it, so it all looks like it's covered in mud, which is really, really cool. Of course, we've got the great boots once again. Tons of detail in the laces, in the sides. Everything just looks great. The leather is appropriately worn. Bottom of the boots are detailed to a point, and we do have peg holes. So just absolutely outstanding looking figure. Like, this is the definitive Arnold figure for me. Like, wow, love it. Articulation is pretty similar to what they did on the last Dutch. Oh, I'm sorry, I also forgot to mention his leaf grenade. They actually did the rope with the leaf grenade and even painted the tip of the match that he used to light it at the end of the movie. Very, very cool. If you remember, he like poured gunpowder into a leaf and then stuck matches in the end, and then he would light the match and throw the leaf, and somehow that exploded even though it had no shrapnel or anything. I don't know why it worked, but it looked awesome. So yeah, very, very cool. Anyway, articulation, got that great ball jointed neck that NECA's been doing. Nice down movement, nice up movement. Swivel hinges in the shoulders, go out about that far. Swivel hinges in the elbows, get better than 90 degrees, and then swivel. Now, I was actually even, you saw at the beginning his ability to take an archer's pose. He actually did that even with swivel hinge elbows. Like, you would expect you would need double hinged elbows, but that was pretty darn good. I mean, like, once you start moving it to about there, you feel a little resistance, but it will go further if you force it a little. So I'm not telling you to break your figure, just, you know, be careful with it and everything, but it does have great posability in the elbows. We've got the ball jointed wrists, so swivel all the way around and great in and out and up and down motion. Very cool. Got the ball jointed upper torso. So let me get his arms out of the way here. So you can see it goes back, forward. He's got rotation there, and then side to side as well. And then there's a ball joint here in the waist, but it's mostly limited to a swivel. Like, I'm not getting much more motion out of it, but I'm guessing, unless they may have even actually retooled this piece, because he doesn't have the belt to cover up that split anymore. They may have retooled the piece so it is just a swivel now, but it used to be a ball joint, so I'm thinking it might be a ball joint, but they may have redone it for the sake of the look of the figure. Swivel hinge, swivel hips set at 90 degrees, straightforward. Much better even than the new Aliens figures. The Marines there just destroys them in terms of hip articulation. Got swivels in the upper thighs. We've got swivel hinges in the knees, 90 degrees almost. If you push a little more, you might get perfect. And then rotation there as well. And we've got rotation at the tops of the boots. A lot of people don't notice this. There is rotation at the top of the boots. Although mine usually tends to stick on this side. That's usually one that I have to try and free up. And then we've got the great ball jointed Dutch feet, which go down, forward, in, very far, and out, so that pretty much any kind of like crouching pose that you want to do can be achieved with this figure relatively easily. So very, very cool. Yeah, I have no complaints. As I said, if you wanted like an objective review, I probably am not the person to come to, but I will say that this may be the most impressed I've ever been with a NECA action figure. And I think he may even, it's possible he may even surpass Isaac Clarke as my favorite figure of all time. But like, just the likeness, the paintwork, the sculpt, all of it is just fantastic. They did a wonderful job. Seriously, if you can find it for $25, it's probably still going to be a good deal, but expect to see this between $16 and $20. Pick it up immediately if you get the chance. Even if you don't like Predator, this is just a really, really cool action figure to have. I highly recommend him. If you get the opportunity to pick him up, yeah. That's it for this guy. Yeah, he's perfect as far as I'm concerned. All the accessories that he's got at that point in the movie, perfect paint and sculpt. Yeah, and he's got the ability to hold his weapons, excellent articulation. What more do you want from an action figure? He's perfect. That's it, guys. I wish I had some negatives to say just so it was a little more interesting, but I really don't. Sorry. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. Any concerns or anything you'd like to know about this figure at all, I'd be glad to help you come to the decision to purchase this guy, because I think he is worth it 1,000 times over. Very awesome. So thanks for stopping by. Thanks to all the subscribers for tuning in. You guys are awesome. I will talk to you soon, and we will have some more Predator reviews coming up. Thanks, guys. Bye.